Good evening to everyone. My name is Cohn. I'm sharing with you tonight the phenomenal truth of my X39 story. I've worn the X39 patch since June 2024 on the advice of my chiropractor, who believed that I would benefit from wearing this small patch that does such big things. So within 2 days of wearing this X39 patch, I felt an energy. Um, it was an enthusiasm for life, but I honestly felt like I could climb the highest mountain. And at 70 years old, I think that's pretty huge. So I noticed a number of things that many people do, that my skin, quality of my skin had improved. The wrinkles were less, the age spots were less. I somehow managed to grow a lot more hair that came out blonde and curly. And quite frankly, I'll take all of those. So 6 weeks of after starting the patch, I took a terrible fall while I was speed walking, and I had a purple bruise the size of Texas that went from my lower back right down to below my knee on one leg. That same bruise, this is only like maybe 6 weeks after I started, that same bruise broke up on the 7th day. By the 9th day, I woke up and the entire bruise was gone.
Wow.
Which was totally awesome. But I now had the evidence that I needed to show that my stem cells had reactivated and were active, and that my body was starting to heal itself. And that was my ultimate goal. I was just deviating slightly. You mentioned that if David Schmidt had to scan all of our bodies, that we would show up with red in the scans. I think my whole body would have done that. You would need sunglasses to see me. I had so much inflammation. But for 22 of my adult years, I had lived with constant back pain from and also sciatica, and it came from a fractured vertebrae. I could hardly walk a lot of the time, and I went through various therapies and surgeries. But at the end of all of that, after only 90 days of being on the X39 patch, I was completely, for the first time in 22 years, pain-free. Now, if you can imagine, all for 22 years, the MRIs, the X-rays, the doctors, the therapies, the treatments, the injections, and spine fusions with a lot of hardware in my back. All of that helped some, but it did not take me all the way. And what really made all the difference was once I started using the X39 patch. And honestly, I had been told, be patient, wait for 90 days. And around the time of the 90-day mark, that was, I woke up one day and I had zero pain, and I've had zero pain since.
Wow.
So for me, that was really a miracle. And I know now that I'm way beyond that, because my body is healing itself. And this is what phototherapy and this is what the X39 is about. It's not the end of my story, and I'll try to be brief. Late last year, I had to undergo surgery on my upper left arm, which resulted in me having a 7-inch scar. The wound itself was horrific. And I was certainly not very pleased. But I had no choice but to have this surgery. And after the surgery, I applied the patch right next to the wound. It took a few weeks, possibly going into 2 months, and the wound healed to the point where I only have a pencil line. And it's slightly less than 7 inches now, but it's hardly noticeable. And I really attribute the X39 for doing the work for me there. And then finally, my father died when he was 53 from a metabolic disorder. And this is the most amazing part of my story. He, unfortunately, I inherited this. And 1 year into wearing the patch, I started in June last year. In July this year, I was curious to know from a metabolic viewpoint how much I had improved, how my organs, the function of my organs had improved. And so I had the standard metabolic blood work done, routine, because I wanted to know about my heart, my liver, my kidneys, pancreas, gallbladder. I wanted to know the whole story. When the results came back, I was blown away. My total cholesterol improved by 30%, 30%. My LDL improved by 43%. My triglycerides improved by 18%. And my blood sugars went down 0.5 point. And I call this progress. It is so exciting because without the patch, without knowing LifeWave and this magnificent product that they have, I would not be anywhere close to this point. So I am an X39 believer. This technology is not just innovative, it is transformative. The phototherapy for me, for my health, is going to be the future. And I am living proof and walking proof that this product works.
Wow. That is amazing. Joe, thank you so much for sharing. That is absolutely phenomenal.